I lost a $28,000 bookkeeping client. Let's talk about my bookkeeping business. I make these videos because I just love sharing my own personal journey. I started my bookkeeping business 5 years ago, and now I just make these videos. I just talk about my own personal experience. I talk about what I learned 5 years ago. I talk about the mistakes that I made, the lessons that I learned. Hopefully, by sharing this information, you can avoid the same mistakes that I did and fast track to success. So I'm going to go over a few things that I learned after I lost my $28,000 bookkeeping client. I'm going to talk about how it happened, why it happened, and the lessons that I learned. This is going to be a live video. So if you want to ask questions, feel free to go ahead and ask questions in the chat, and I'm going to do my best to answer everybody's questions. I'm going to go live for maybe 30 minutes, maybe longer. We'll see what happens. We'll see how long we can keep it up. But the more questions you ask, the longer I'll stay on and the more questions that I'll answer. So let's talk about, first of all, what happened. The $28,000 bookkeeping client that I lost. So this was a large local trucking company, and they actually found me on YouTube. I made a video teaching people how to reconcile accounts, and the business owner was watching my video. She was trying to do her own bookkeeping. She was trying to reconcile one of her accounts for an insurance audit. So people don't realize you need financial reports to file your taxes, but you also need financial reports whenever you're renewing your insurance, especially for big trucking companies. They have a lot of insurance on all their trucks. And so they needed to generate a profit and loss and a balance sheet for their insurance audit, their insurance renewal. So she was kind of panicking and she needed it quickly. And so she was trying to do it herself, found my YouTube video, and then just ended up calling me and saying, hey, tried to watch your YouTube video, tried to do it myself. I can't, I just want to hire you. No problem. That's actually one of the really cool things about making YouTube tutorials, especially bookkeeping, QuickBooks tutorials. People watch them, people try to do it themselves, and then they're like, I can't figure this out. Let me just hire this person who I was trying to learn from in the first place. It's a great way to get some exposure and establish yourself as a bookkeeping expert. So that's what happened. She found my video, watched it, tried to do it on her own, and then just ended up hiring me, which was amazing. This was, and the reason it's a $28,000 bookkeeping client was because it was $2,400 per month. So this particular company was paying me $28,000 per year just to do their bookkeeping. And so they needed, I think it was maybe a 2022 cleanup at the time, maybe a 2023 cleanup at the time. And so they ended up paying me close to $20,000 to do an entire year of bookkeeping, which was amazing at the time. This happened back in 2022, back in 2023, I forget which year. And I just got them from YouTube, and it was an amazing client. I helped them with all their bookkeeping, and I did it all for about 2 years. And then a couple months ago, they just let me know that they were hiring an in-house bookkeeper, somebody in-house to manage their books, which made sense because they were a growing company. I mean, they were already paying me $28,000. So they're probably just paying an in-house bookkeeper maybe $40,000, $50,000. So it's really not that much more money to pay an in-house bookkeeper. I see a couple more people just hopped on. So I'm going to talk about what happened losing this $28,000 bookkeeping client. And then I'm going to go over some lessons that I learned. And then I'm going to get to the chat. So I'm going to be answering everybody's questions. So feel free to let me know what questions you have, what comments you have. And it doesn't have to just be about losing clients or marketing and sales. If you have questions about anything else, let me know. QuickBooks, bookkeeping, sales, marketing, customer service, onboarding clients, quoting, estimating, sending client agreements, let me know. And then side note, I do have to mention this video is being sponsored by my investment fund, Zip Capital. I'm offering 8% up to 12% fixed returns. If you want to learn more, you can register on my website. It's actually linked in the description of this video. Okay, so that's what happened. So I lost this $28,000 per year trucking company because they ended up hiring an in-house bookkeeper. So here are the lessons that I learned. Number one, always be selling, because you are going to lose clients. Even if you do the absolute best job, you're always going to lose clients. So here's the tricky part. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, self-employed, you're going to, in the beginning, you're going to get clients. You're going to sell, marketing, get some clients. And then all of a sudden, you're going to find yourself in a situation where you have 10 clients, 15 clients, and you're going to feel comfortable. You're going to be happy. You just worked your butt off for the past year doing a ton of marketing, ton of selling, and you finally got to the point where you wanted to get to. You got to 10 clients, you got to 15 clients, and now is the pivotal moment where most business owners take their foot off the gas and you stop selling, you stop marketing because you get complacent and you're happy with where you are. But here's the problem. You're going to lose clients. You're no matter what, even if you do the absolute best job, you're going to lose clients. So you need to always be marketing, even when you think you've made it. Even when you are happy with your monthly revenue, you have to continue marketing. You have to continue selling. Here's a couple tricks. Here's a couple tips. You don't need to sell and market every single day, especially month end close. In the peak of my busyness, tax season, March, April, 1099 season, January, tax extension time, September, October, you don't need to sell as much as you do all the time, especially month end close. So the first week of every month, if you're super busy, if you have 15 or 20 clients, you can relax a little bit. You can relax on your marketing for that week. But then week 2, 3, and 4 of the month, make sure you pick it up. Pick up the slack where you left off. That way you can continue to get new clients because you're going to continue to lose clients. You're going to naturally lose clients even if you do a really good job for a couple reasons. 2 reasons, really. Either the business fails, which unfortunately that does happen, or your business grows, like in the situation of my trucking company, which is amazing because you want all your clients to prosper and be successful and do well and grow, but they're going to get to a point where they need more help. They need somebody in-house, maybe even in office, to do more work. They need somebody outside of just managing their QuickBooks. That's the only bad thing about doing bookkeeping versus doing taxes. Almost everybody outsources their taxes. Very few people have somebody in-house doing their taxes. But bookkeeping, office management, a lot more people will bring that in-house and not outsource their bookkeeping. So that's one of the only drawbacks to doing bookkeeping instead of taxes. If you do taxes, very rarely, even if the company grows, very rarely will they bring that in-house. But bookkeeping, that does happen. From what I've seen, that happens quite a lot. People will grow to the point where they just hire a full-time employee to manage their bookkeeping. Another lesson that I learned is always do your best. Always deliver high quality customer service because that's the only thing that you can control. You can't control if your clients fail and go out of business. You can't control if they grow to the point where they need more support and they need an in-house bookkeeper. Always do your best. Always deliver high quality customer service because at the end of the day, if you lose clients, if you keep clients, that's out of your control. But as long as you're doing your best and doing a good job, you can be satisfied. You can be happy with what you're doing as a bookkeeper. Don't be upset. It's just business. It's going to happen. You've heard the saying, it's not personal, it's just business. It's going to feel personal because they just fired you, but they're doing it for their own business. They're going out of business. Maybe they're cutting back or they're growing and they're hiring somebody in-house. Don't take it personally. It's just business. Like I said, as long as you're doing a really good job and delivering high quality customer service, that's all that you can control. You can't control the decisions they make. You can only control what you do and how you do it. Last thing, don't race to the bottom. Don't try to discount your services just to keep clients. As soon as you do that, you're going to start to feel frustrated. You're going to start to feel underappreciated. If somebody tells you that they found somebody cheaper, then let them go because your goal is not to deliver the cheapest service. You can have 2 out of the 3. Pick 2. Fast, good, and cheap. I always try to be fast. I always want to be good. I don't want to be the cheapest. As soon as you start racing to the bottom to try to keep clients who leave you to find somebody cheaper, you're going to find yourself underappreciated, frustrated, and overworked. And that's going to take away from your ability to service other clients who are willing to pay a premium for your services. So don't waste time on clients who don't value your services. You need to stay true to the price that you're quoting people. Now, there's a caveat. If it is a client who you feel like probably could be justified to reduce their price a little bit, there is always room for negotiation. So if a client is paying you $1,000 and it only takes you 2 hours a month to service their account, maybe you might want to consider just at least talk to them about it. At least offer like, hey, is there a price that you would accept that would enable you to stick around? Is there a budget that would fit, that would help you keep my services? Because I'd be willing to work with you. So just keep that in mind. Every client is different. You're going to have some clients who pay $1,000. It only takes 2 hours. You're going to have some clients who pay $400 and it takes 4 hours. Every client is different. Every situation is different. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop a comment, drop a chat in the chat right there, and I will do my best to answer everybody's questions. I don't know how long I'm going to be going live, maybe 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see. But if anybody has any questions, I will try to answer as many questions as I can. If it's about QuickBooks, bookkeeping, sales, marketing, social media, whatever questions you might have, let me know. So do your best, deliver high quality customer service. Don't be upset. It's just business. You don't race to the bottom. You can only offer two: fast, good, and cheap. Don't try to be the cheapest. You're going to naturally lose clients. And then just always be selling. Always be marketing, always be selling. Even whenever you feel like you have enough clients, you have to keep marketing, you have to keep selling. Okay, let's see if anybody has any questions. Steele, 3 lives in 1 week. Hey, you know what? I only did 1 last week, so I'm trying to make up for last week. Jay Wong, hello. Nice to see you. Alec, good morning. Love the live streams. I appreciate you watching, Alec. Appreciate you watching, Steele. Benjamin, do you have a standard format you message a prospective client on Facebook? So that's actually how I got my first couple clients in the beginning. You have to send messages if you want to grow quickly. It's going to take a lot of time. If you're just creating content and just sitting back and passively waiting for people to hire you, it's not going to happen as fast as you want it to happen. You have to go out and actively seek prospective clients. You have to go out and reach out to them. And so what I did in the beginning, and I always try to say this, I'm not a marketing expert, I'm not a sales guru, but I really just try to keep it pretty simple. So to answer your question about a standard format for a message, yes, I do. And I really keep it straightforward. One of my pet peeves is when people message me a very vague, ambiguous message, like something like, hey, how's everything going? I would love to connect and see if we can collaborate, to see if we have any synergies. That's one of the most frustrating things for me, because it's super ambiguous, it's super vague, and I don't feel like having a 10-minute conversation with a total stranger on the internet. So I just straightforward, direct, to the point. Hey, my name's Zach. I'm a bookkeeper. Let me know if you ever need help with your QuickBooks. Seriously, that's all I say. I keep it super straightforward. But here's the catch. I don't message people randomly who I've never interacted with. So I friend request people on Facebook. I connect with people on LinkedIn. But then I wait 30 days before I send them a message, because I want my marketing content to have an opportunity to work. I want them to see my marketing content. I've got a 4-step process, 4-step strategy for my social media marketing: create content, find prospective clients, connect with them, and then engage with them. Those are 4 things that I do before I send them a message. And to me, that's really important, because it's all about building trust. So I'm going to create content. And it can be about anything. It can be a picture. It can be just a sentence, like a tweet. It can be a long paragraph. It can be like a blog style. It can be a short video. It can be a long video. It can be a picture with a caption, infographic, flyer. There are so many different options for creating content. Doesn't matter what you do. You just got to create content to get your name out there, because right now people don't know who you are. They don't know that you're a bookkeeper, or they haven't seen you enough times. I think there's a stat, like, people need to be exposed to you 7 times before they even consider hiring you or buying from you. Think about how many times you've seen a McDonald's commercial or a Starbucks commercial. Like, they're still running ads, and they're obviously one of the biggest companies in the world. So people need to advertise. Companies need to advertise. We're no different. We need to continue to remind people, hey, look at me. I'm a bookkeeper. Hey, look at me. I'm running Zip Capital. I'm offering 8% up to 12% fixed returns. You need to continuously advertise, because two reasons. One, somebody who has been following you for a long time, they might not need you now, but maybe in 6 months they will need you. Another reason is you're always going to have new people following you. So you constantly need to be reminding the old people, the people who have been with you for a long time, and the new people, because they've never seen your stuff before. So you need to create content, but then you need to grow your network. People are not just going to knock on your door, call you, friend request you on Facebook, follow you on Instagram. You need to actively go out and find people. So Facebook groups, LinkedIn makes it super simple to search for people. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is great. You need to actively find people, and then you need to connect with them. You can't be afraid to send friend requests to total strangers. I know it can be intimidating. I know it can seem annoying, but Here's the thing. We are genuinely trying to help people. With our bookkeeping services, with my private money lending services, we are genuinely trying to help people. So don't look at it from an annoying, scammy, salesy perspective. Look at it like these people, there are literally people out there stressed out right now because they don't have a bookkeeper. So you need to look at it from the perspective that I need to reach out to these people because there's a good chance that they need somebody like me. So don't be afraid to friend request business owners. They might be total strangers, but then the cool thing about social media is you can engage with them on social media, and engagement can be so super simple. You can just comment on their post, or if they comment on your post, you can reply to their comment or you can like their pictures. It's all about building relationships. It's all about building trust. And I just spent 5 minutes explaining my 4-step social media marketing strategy. And that's everything that I do for 30 days before I send you a message. So that was a very long answer, Benjamin. Hopefully you're still watching. Hopefully that was helpful. I keep, it's not about the message. It's not about the DM. The DM is the quick, easy, fast part. That's not hard. That doesn't take any time. The 30 days leading up to the message, that's where your money will be made. That's where literally the relationship will be built. I can't tell you how many times I've sent a message to somebody and they say, yeah, I've seen your stuff all the time. I don't need a bookkeeper right now, but if I ever do, you're the first person who I'm going to call. So there's a lot of power in creating content daily and engaging with people, just building relationships. It's all about trust. Financial services, all about trust. All right, Cameron. Hey, Zach. When did you leave your full-time job? How many clients? How much monthly recurring revenue? I'm getting to a point where I need to seriously start thinking about it. So, Cameron, everybody's situation is going to be different. When you quit your job totally depends on your personal situation. So, for me, I had a family, a mortgage, bills to take care of. But for you, I don't know what your situation is, but maybe you don't have any family. Maybe you're fresh college graduate, or maybe you're 60 years old and empty nester and no kids and your mortgage is paid off. So when you quit your job totally depends on your personal expenses. So first, you need to figure out how much money do I need per month to survive. Once you figure that out, you can kind of reverse engineer and figure out, okay, I need $5,000 per month just to survive. So I probably need to make $7,000 or $8,000 when you account for taxes and saving and investing. So figure out how much you spend per month, figure out how much you need to make per month, and then figure out how many clients you need. I figure on average clients pay anywhere from $350 to $550 per month. So if you need $5,000 per month, then you probably need 10 clients per month to make $5,000 per month. Here's where I just decided to quit. I decided to quit when I had 6 months of living expenses saved up. So I think I was probably living off of, we'll call it call it $4,000 per month. So 4,000 times 6, I had about $25,000 of cash saved up in an emergency savings account. And then I just got a huge project. I got a $9,000 cleanup project. So I had the 6 months of living expenses saved up. I probably had 3 or 4 monthly clients, maybe making $2,000 or $3,000 per month, but I just got a huge cleanup project, $9,000. So I got that cleanup project, and then I quit my full-time job in March of 2021, 5 months after I started my bookkeeping business. Started October, got my first client December, quit in March. It was like March 22nd. I forget the exact day, but I can still kind of remember it because it was a big deal. It was scary, super scary, but have the emergency savings account, have a couple clients, make sure that you can actually get clients and grow your business, and then take the leap of faith. You just need to remember, keep in mind that you're about to work just as hard, if not harder than you did before. That's the key. A lot of people think that they can quit their full-time job and then they're going to be a business owner and then they're going to create one Facebook post per day. And then all of a sudden they're going to get 20 bookkeeping clients. I'm sure the majority of you watching this right now can relate. You can probably attest that it doesn't work like that. So what I did is whenever I quit my full-time job, I sat at my desk for 8 hours every day. And I did an hour or two of bookkeeping in the morning. And then I literally just sat there and thought for 6 hours, like, what can I do to grow my bookkeeping business? Create YouTube tutorials, cold call people, send emails, whatever you have to do. You have to work 8 to 10 hours every day for the first 6 months if you truly want to grow your bookkeeping business. You have to treat it like a full-time job. It's so hard because you don't have a boss, you don't have a manager, you don't have coworkers, you don't have anybody holding you accountable. So as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you have to be incredibly disciplined. You have to be incredibly self-motivated. You have to be able to manage your own time because nobody is there to hold you accountable. So Cameron, hopefully that was helpful. That was kind of a long answer, but emergency savings account, figure out your living expenses, get a couple clients, take the leap of faith, work your butt off as soon as you quit your full-time job. Don't take your foot off the gas. You got to work hard. All right, Benjamin, I've been working for about a month to get my first client, posting on social daily, going to chamber meetups. Any words of encouragement? Benjamin, my best advice is you have to analyze what you're doing. Think about it like a workout. Think about it like you're trying to go to the gym for the first time. And perfect example, like let's just say, for example, we've never worked out. We've never tried fitness. And that's pretty relatable to a lot of you starting your bookkeeping business. I never had a business. I never was a bookkeeper or an accountant. So in this example, let's say you're going to the gym for the first time, and maybe you do some bicep curls, some tricep push downs, and some bench press. And then on Wednesday, maybe you do some pull-ups and some dips. I don't know. And then Friday, you do some deadlifts and some squats. Super simple, right? Like you did upper body on Monday, pull-ups and dips on Wednesday, and then some lower body on Friday. And you're going to be crazy sore. You're going to be hurting, and you're probably going to build some muscle. And then let's say you do that for 3 or 4 weeks. If you just continue to do that, if you continue to do the same weight, if you continue to do the same workouts, the same exercises, you're not going to get much better. You're going to get a little bit better, but you're not really going to get to that next level. So it's the same concept with social media marketing and growing your business. For the workout example, you need to increase your weight. You need to increase your reps. You need to do more complex movements. You need to go more times per week if you want to continue to progress. It's the exact same concept with social media marketing. So whatever you did last week, whatever you did yesterday, you need to do more today, and you need to do better today. So you need to look at your analytics. Every social media platform has data and analytics. Look at the previous 30 days. What kind of posts were you making? What post did really well? What post did not do really well? Do more of what did well, do less of what didn't do well. And then if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling in a slump, follow other people. Watch other people's videos, read other people's posts. If you haven't already, follow me on social media. I'm not an expert, I'm not a guru, but follow me. All of my social media channels are linked down in the description below. Follow me on all my social media platforms, and who knows, you might see one of my posts. It might motivate and inspire you to do something differently. Let's see, Brent. Last video, you said you quote based on transactions. What the company grow and start getting what if the company grows and start getting more transactions? When do you adjust your pricing? Every 6 months. I will evaluate every client every 6 months. If I need to change the quote, if I need to change their price, 6 months, maybe 12 months, it all depends. I'll do 6 months if the company changed aggressively, grew aggressively. Maybe I'll wait 12 months. It also depends on how much you quote them. If you quote them pretty aggressively in the beginning, I'm not going to adjust their price. But if you quote them pretty conservatively in the beginning and it's a little bit low, then I'll be much more likely to increase their price in 6 months. Usually 5 to 10% increase is pretty standard. It's not going to make anybody upset. The only reason I would increase somebody's price by more than 5 or 10% is if something crazy happened and their business like really grew a lot. And so in that email, I would say, hey, I got to increase your price by $150 per month. And that is because XYZ. So 5 to 10%, no explanation needed. That's just general inflation, cost of living. That's just that every business increases their prices 5 to 10% per year. But anything more than that, I would provide an explanation. I don't lock people into a contract. That's just my personal preference. I hate getting locked into a contract. I don't lock other people into a contract. I've seen some people with monthly service-based businesses have like a 6-month minimum and then like a 90 days notice or a 60 days notice. So if you canceled today, September 19th, you're going to continue to be charged through November 19th as like a 60-day notice. I don't like doing that. I'm not a fan of that. If you don't like my services, I don't want to force you to work with me if you don't want to keep working with me. 5-second coffee break. Let's see. I lost my spot. What are the other questions? How do you come up with content ideas? Mason. So there's two different ways that you can come up with content ideas. You can just be obsessed with it. You can think about it all the time. When you're at the gym, when you're driving your car, when you're making dinner, when you're doing laundry. There are some people, I'm kind of like this, you're just obsessed with creating content and you just literally think about it all the time. And then whenever I get a good idea, I'll write it down. I'll make a note to myself. I'll be like, hey, I just came up with a great post for tomorrow, or I just came up with a great post for next week. Write it down, and then too easy, right? But if you don't think about it constantly, if you're not obsessed, if you're not a little bit crazy, like probably the majority of you, you need to do research. You need to think about creating marketing content. You need to think about it strategically, and you need to come at it from a view like if you go to college, if you want to study something, if you want to learn something, you have to actively take a role in getting better at it. Whenever you learned bookkeeping, whenever you learned QuickBooks, I'm sure you spent a lot of time learning bookkeeping fundamentals and learning how to use QuickBooks software. Sales and marketing is the exact same thing. People literally go to college for 4 years to get a marketing degree. You need to spend time learning how to do marketing. You need to spend time researching what other people are doing, what's trending, what's working right now, where are people posting, social media platforms, what kind of content are people creating. You can do it a couple different ways. You can just kind of passively consume content from other people, which could work potentially, or you can take more of an active, purposeful method and you can actually do research, actually purposely read articles, read blogs, watch specific YouTube videos that will help you learn how to create content. But you can't just sit back and just think of an idea and just create content and expect it to work. You need to actually research and learn and try to improve the same way you learned bookkeeping. You got to learn marketing and sales. It's not going to come naturally for everybody. You're not just going to be able to pick up a social media app and just create viral content from day one. You have to continue to learn, continue to do research. One of the best ways to learn is to simply create your own content and then look at your data, look at your analytics, see what's doing well and see what's not doing well. If anybody needs help with any of this stuff, social media marketing, bookkeeping fundamentals, QuickBooks Online, I have a full course for sale and it's linked in the description of this video. It's $12.95. It goes through everything you need to know from A to Z, literally bookkeeping fundamentals, debits and credits, assets, liabilities, bookkeeping fundamentals, accounting concepts, QuickBooks Online tutorials. I share my screen. I show you exactly what you need to know and do in QuickBooks. I go over sales, marketing, cleanup projects, onboarding clients, delivering customer service. I teach you everything you need to know. So if you want, you can take my course. It's linked below. There's also a free mini course. It's kind of an introduction. If you don't want to pay $12.95 yet, you can take the free mini course and see what the course is all about. That's also linked down below. Okay, let's go back to the questions. Let's see. Thoughts on posting promos on Facebook, like 1 month of free bookkeeping to try and attract new clients? Alec, I don't think that's a great idea because that's not going to get people fired up. Like that's not really that great. My better recommendation is to just give bookkeeping advice. Like try to think of really good bookkeeping advice that's going to genuinely help other people. If you can create some content, if you can provide some tips and strategy and advice that's really going to help people, in the back of their mind, they're going to be like, geez, Alec just like saved my business last week by posting a couple posts about bookkeeping. Or they're going to think, geez, Alex really knows what he's talking about. He's always giving out really great tips. Or they're going to think, man, Alex is giving out all this free content. He's already helped me for free by giving out so many great tips. I can't even imagine. Imagine if I pay Alec. Imagine if I hire him to do my bookkeeper. He's already given me so much value for free. I can only imagine what he's going to do whenever I pay for his services. So giving out free tips and tricks and strategy and bookkeeping tips, I think that's a better way to establish yourself as a bookkeeping expert, establish trust, and get more people to see those posts. But you also have to mix it up. You can't just post hardcore, boring, strategic bookkeeping posts every single day, because those are good, but those don't get the algorithm flowing. They don't promote engagement and views. What you need to do is mix it up. Post some personal stuff, and it doesn't have to be, personal pictures if you don't feel comfortable doing that. But just if you go to a football game, let people know, like, hey, going to the Penn State football game this weekend, or like snap a picture at a Penn State football game, or if you go to the farmer's market, or if you go bowling with your friends, or if you're at the gym, just mix it up. Post some personal stuff, but then also continue to post business stuff. You want to mix it up every other day, every third day. That way you get the engagement flowing with the personal stuff, and then you hit them with the bookkeeping, the QuickBooks, tips, strategy, business advice. That way you can do both things. You can promote engagement and you can establish yourself as a bookkeeping expert. But also, people want to hire regular people, and people can relate to people going to the football game, going to the farmer's market, going out to eat, going to the gym. People can relate to that, and you want to build trust, and you want to build relationships, and you do that by just being a regular person on social media. You don't want to be a bookkeeping robot who only posts QuickBooks and bookkeeping stuff. All right, let's see. How much you spend on advertising? What is your return? Dennis, I don't pay for advertising. I just do all organic stuff myself. So like this video, I would consider this video to be advertising. Like, I'm probably going to get 1,000 people to view this video. I've been promoting Zip Capital. I've been promoting my course for sale. So this video is advertising. All my social media posts, my short videos, my stories, my pictures, that's all advertising. My website, Google My Business profile, my blog, that's all advertising. So I don't actually pay PPC, pay per click. I don't pay for ads on Facebook and Google. I just do everything for free social media marketing. Let's see, Cameron, about how many clients did you just get from cold DMing people versus referrals? I have no idea. Unfortunately, I definitely think it's way more from my content and from my Google My Business profile. I don't think I got a ton of clients from my cold DMs. I can specifically remember getting 3 clients in the very beginning from cold DMs, because I was sending a lot and I didn't have a ton of views on my marketing content. So I do remember specifically getting 3 clients in the very beginning from sending messages. But you're going to get so many more views from creating content. Like, whenever I create a short video, I post it on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And I get, let's just call it on average, 500 views per channel per video. So I get about 2,000 views per video every single day. And if you're just getting started, maybe you get 50 views. So 50 views on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. That's still 200 views, and it might take you 30 minutes max to create a short video. And so I would much rather spend more time creating a short video and posting it on all 4 channels and get 200 views across all 4 channels than spend an hour cold DMing 15 people. You're just not going to be able to get the exponential exposure that you can get by creating content. So sure, I think sending messages is a good idea. You're going to get a couple clients, but the majority of my clients came from creating content. Also, Google My Business, getting Google reviews is one of the best ways to grow your bookkeeping business, because it's all about trust. And if you have some 5-star Google reviews, people are more likely to trust you. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's previous generations or just accountants who don't care about marketing, but for whatever reason, most accountants in your area, I'd be willing to bet, don't have a very strong presence online, and definitely don't have a ton of Google reviews. I have 200 5-star Google reviews in my Google My Business profile. People call me all the time and they say, hey, had to call you because you have 10 times more Google reviews than literally any other bookkeeper or accountant in South Central Pennsylvania. So create content. Yes, send messages as you can, but create content first and foremost. Get Google reviews and then send messages if you have extra time at the end of the day. Jessica just logged on. Sorry to hear. Appreciate your insight. Jessica, appreciate you watching. If anybody has any questions, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this, but try to ask your questions. And I'm going to be going live more often. 10 a.m. Definitely every Friday, but who knows? Maybe more often than just Friday. We'll see if my schedule works out. What would your advice who is just starting? So, Imran, I see your question, way too vague. If you could ask some more specific questions, I will do my best to answer. The Joy Edit. Did you learn how to do cleanups during the freelance jobs you had before going solo? I got my Pro Advisor level one and didn't see anything there about assessment, troubleshooting, fixing. Everybody's bookkeeping is going to be so different. So I really just learned on the job. I really learned how to do bookkeeping, how to do QuickBooks specifically on the job. So I took Intro to Accounting in the fall of 2020. So I understood debits and credits and assets and liabilities, equity, income, expenses, accounts payable, accounts receivable, journal entries. I understood bookkeeping fundamentals, accounting concepts by taking Intro to Accounting in the fall. And then I got my first client in December, pretty much right after I took my Intro to Accounting class. So I was a QuickBooks certified pro advisor, but I didn't really know a ton about QuickBooks. I did know about the bank feed, about reconciliations, and about financial reports. That's pretty much all that I knew. And so the first client that I got, I probably did not do my best work. Let's just be honest. The first client that you get, you're going to make mistakes. But the best way to imagine if you had to change the oil in your car and I gave you a textbook and I said, "Hey, here's a textbook. Read this book, learn how to change the oil in your car." Or imagine if I said, "Hey, come here. Here's a wrench, here's an oil pan, here's a bucket of oil, here's a car. Figure it out." You're going to make mistakes, but you're going to learn so much faster just by trying to change the oil in your car instead of trying to read a textbook explaining how to change the oil in your car. Now, best case scenario, I would probably say take that textbook, take the wrench and the oil pan and combine them and follow the textbook and then try to change the oil in your car. That's probably best case scenario. So what I would do is watch a YouTube tutorial on QuickBooks Online. Take my course. I go through every single QuickBooks Online tutorial that you need to get started. And then whenever you get your first client, you can watch the video for 30 seconds, pause. Okay, let me go try doing that. Watch the video for 30 seconds, pause. Okay, let me go try and do that. Or you can get a separate QuickBooks Online accountant account and you can connect your personal bank account. I do this. I actually did this just this morning. Every Friday, I do my own personal bookkeeping. So you can get a separate QuickBooks account, connect your personal bank account, your personal credit card, and you can practice categorizing transactions in QuickBooks. And you're doing two things. You're practicing QuickBooks, but you can manage your own personal budget. I'm getting a smile on my face right now because I love doing this. I love getting to practice using QuickBooks, but I also love tracking my own personal expenses. If you remember what I said in the beginning of this video, you have to figure out how much money do you need to live? What are your monthly expenses? It's impossible to know that unless you keep track of those things. So if you don't know how much money you're spending, then you could potentially quit your full-time job too soon or too late. Maybe you're keeping your full-time job too long. You could have quit 6 months ago because you didn't know how much you're spending. So you can figure that out by getting the personal QuickBooks account and connecting your personal bank account, personal credit card to it. Practice using QuickBooks. There's also a sample company. It's like Craig's landscaping company, and you can do a ton of things in the sample company. You can categorize transactions, create invoices, accounts payable, run reports, reconcile accounts. Check out Craig's landscaping. Get the separate QuickBooks Online account and connect your personal accounts and just get started. Just get started. Too many people wait too long to start sales and marketing. If you don't have any clients right now, you have to start right now because it's going to take you 30 to 90 days to get your first client. So get your website, get your LLC set up, start learning QuickBooks, take my course, become a QuickBooks certified pro advisor, take Intro to Accounting at your local community college, and simultaneously start creating marketing content. The really cool thing that you can do is you can create marketing content. You can say, "Hey, everybody, just decided to start my bookkeeping business, super excited." And then tomorrow you can say, "Hey, just signed up for a local Intro to Accounting class at my local community college." You can create content about your journey. And you can create content about the process that you're taking to start your bookkeeping business. And that's going to spread awareness and that's going to help you get clients in the future. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed of being brand new. Don't be afraid to tell people just getting started. There's no shame. Everybody has to start somewhere. Bryant, hi Zach. For $3 a transaction, do you look through the receipts, update description, and allocate to accounts, or do you simply categorize transactions based on vendor and categorizing history? So all I do is I connect bank accounts and credit cards to the bank feed, and then I do two things. Who did you pay and what did you buy? Who did you pay? Vendor, payee, Home Depot, Billy Bob, John Smith, Jane Doe. Who did you pay? And then what did you buy? Chart of accounts, expense, asset, liability, equity, office supplies, job supplies, contractor labor, payroll wages, advertising and marketing. Was it a loan? Were you paying off your credit card? I only do two things. There is a third option. There's class tracking and project tracking, but that's $4 per transaction. So that does cost extra. Typically, restaurants with multiple locations, real estate investors, construction companies, home remodeling companies, they want class tracking and project tracking. So if you want that, it's going to be $4, but no. And then if you want me to attach receipts to your transactions, that's also $4. So I can attach receipts to QuickBooks transactions. I try not to because it's a lot of work. I don't want to do it. I only do it if the client absolutely, definitely, necessarily wants me to do it. But I try to avoid attaching receipts because it's a lot of extra work. So $3 per transaction. Who did you pay? What did you buy? Vendor, category, and everything's done in the QuickBooks bank feed. So I connect bank accounts, I connect credit cards. If you can't connect the bank account for whatever reason, or the credit card gets disconnected, you can manually import bank transactions into the QuickBooks bank feed by using Excel. You can import transactions. All you need is the date, description, and amount, and you can import transactions into the bank feed. You should never be manually creating individual expenses. That would take forever. So just everything is done in the bank feed. Brett Klein, how do you factor in your pricing if a client has two LLCs? Do you offer a discount since it's the same client? Yes, but I never do multiple companies in one QuickBooks account. So I will offer a discount. $200 is my minimum. So if you have two companies, I'm charging you $400 for your bookkeeping at the very minimum, very minimum. So even if you only have 20 transactions per month in each company, still charging you $200 per company. Now, of course, once you get to 75 transactions per month, then I will charge you $3 per transaction. So if you have 70 transactions per month, I'll charge you $225 per month for each company based on $3 per transaction. But anything less than 70 transaction, $200 per month, bare minimum per company, no exceptions, no matter what. Because $200 per month, you got to think about this. I charge $100 per hour. So I have to log into your QuickBooks every week, update your bank feed, categorize your transactions, send you an email with a list of questions, get your bank statements, get your credit card statements, reconcile your accounts, generate your financial reports, download them, email them to you, and potentially answer any questions you might have. That's the bare minimum. Even if you have 20 transactions, I still have to do that every single week, every single month. So bare minimum, $200 per company, no matter what. Anything less than that, it's just not worth it. Trust me. I took on a client for $100 in the very beginning, not worth it. Don't do it. Let's see. Bank statements. What about they use PayPal, Etsy, eBay, and others for charging them? What if they use Square to take payments? How to charge them? Please speak to this situation. This is one of the most complicated things ever. PayPal, eBay, Stripe, Square, one of the most complicated things. I'll give you the short answer, the quick answer. One of the easiest ways to do it. There's two or three different ways to do it. The easiest way to do it is to just look at the cash. Typically, if you're using PayPal, if you're paying somebody $550, it'll be a $550 transfer from bank account to PayPal, and then $550 transfer from PayPal to person. I try to cut out the PayPal account, and I just look at the transfer, the $550 transfer from bank to PayPal. I treat that as the $550 payment to the person. So I'll just do bank to person. I'll skip the PayPal account. That's typically how I do it. If you're receiving money, Stripe, Square, payment processor, same thing, but you need to account for fees. So if I receive $995 from Stripe, chances are there's probably $1,000 of income that needs to be accounted for. So every month you can do a journal entry to account for Square fees and Stripe fees. So you can record the $995 payment into your bank deposit, into your bank account as $995 of income. But then at the end of the month, you'll have to do a journal entry to credit income for $5 and debit Stripe fees for $5 to account for the Stripe fees. Now it gets more complicated if you start managing accounts receivable and accounts payable in QuickBooks. That is a whole nother conversation, but the easiest way to do it is to just look at the cash going out, coming in, and then account for any processing fees. We got time for a couple more questions. Do you cold call? Do you only social media? I don't do cold calling. I only do social media. Sean, hi Zach. Do you have a systemized approach to analyzing and cleaning up someone's books? I have a long video. It's actually a part of my course. I have a full video in my course that teaches you how to do a cleanup project. I also have a long video on my YouTube channel that only talks about cleanup projects. So I'm not going to spend too much time right now because I go through like 45 minutes of just straight up talking about cleanup projects. All right, guys, I got to hop off soon, so I have time for like one or two more questions. Let's see. Where are we here? What if you start to market on Facebook? As you say, it will take time, but you are still learning about QuickBooks. How should one handle the situation when a client requests your services? So here's the thing. You don't need to worry about problems you don't already have. Worrying about getting a client too soon should truthfully, respectfully be one of your last concerns. Getting a client too soon, if that happens, that's amazing. Congratulations. It's probably not going to happen. So if it does happen, be honest. Be honest with the client who's hiring you. Let them know. Like if they ask you if you have any experience, if you don't have any experience, be honest. If they still decide to hire you, amazing. Congratulations. Just be open, transparent, and honest. If you have questions, ask them. If they already had a bookkeeper before you, you can look to see how that bookkeeper was recording transactions. Look to see what accounts were they reconciling. If they went to Home Depot, how were they categorizing Home Depot transactions? If they paid XYZ construction company, how were they categorizing those transactions to XYZ construction company? Don't be afraid to ask questions. You're going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. I still make mistakes. Here's the key. If you make a mistake, that's fine. Everybody's human. Be honest, be transparent, let them know. Learn from your mistakes. As long as you don't make the same mistake twice, you're fine. You can make mistakes. Learn, don't make the same mistake. Now, the problem happens when you make a mistake, make the same mistake, continue making the same mistake. That's the problem. Making a mistake is not the problem. Continuing to make the same mistake, that's the problem. So don't be afraid of getting a client too fast, too soon. Respectfully, it's probably not going to happen. If it does happen, that's great. Take it as an opportunity to learn. All right, one more question. Hi, Zach. What is the process of onboarding a new client? That's a great question. Let me go through it really quickly. Social media marketing. They send you a message. You send them your calendar link. Make sure you have a scheduling link connected to your calendar. They want to meet with you. That's amazing. Here's my scheduling link. Let's get a meeting scheduled. But before you send that, get their phone number. You create content, somebody messages you, hey, I want your bookkeeping services. Great. What's your phone number? Oh, here's my phone number. Call them. It's too simple. As soon as somebody gives me their phone number, Facebook Messenger, text message, email, I immediately call them. If they give me their phone number on Facebook, chances are they're probably available. Call them right away, as soon as possible, as fast as possible, call them. If they don't answer, send them a message. Say, hey, just tried to call you, didn't get a response. Here's my phone number. Call me back whenever you want, or here's a link to my calendar. Schedule a meeting and we can schedule a 10 or 15-minute phone call. If they do answer the phone, or whenever you do have that phone call, ask them questions. Ask them questions about their business and actively listen. Take notes. They're going to talk about things that are stressing them out, are frustrating, did not go well. So figure out what they need based on what they talk about in their business. They're going to talk about employees, expenses, taxes, insurance, financial reports, every cash flow. Figure out what they're struggling with. and then come up with a solution. Let them know, hey, it sounds like you're struggling to keep up with your QuickBooks and your accounts receivable. Well, I manage your QuickBooks. I can do everything you're doing right now. I categorize your transactions. I reconcile your accounts. I generate your financial reports. I can even manage your accounts receivable if you want. Sounds like you're having a hard time sending invoices to customers. I can help you do that through QuickBooks. So ask them questions, let them talk about their business, and then let them know how you can solve their problems, and then let them know next steps. So you're probably wondering how much it's going to cost. So I can give you a quote. All I need is your 3 most recent bank statements, 3 most recent business credit card statements, or you can simply invite me to your QuickBooks. Do you want to do that right now? Are you sitting at a computer? Let me give you my email address so you can invite me to your QuickBooks. And then do it. Do it on the phone while you have them. If they don't, say, okay, let me get your email address. What's your email address? Okay, I'm sending you an email right now, ... subject, bookkeeping follow-up. Hey, thanks for taking my call today. Please send me your 3 most recent bank statements and credit card statements. Okay, I just sent you an email. Could you please confirm that you got that email? I just want to make sure I spelled it right. Okay, yeah, you got that email? Great. Okay, all you need to do, reply to that email with your bank statements and credit card statements. And then once they do that, you can give them a quote. If they don't respond back to you in 48 hours, call them back. Hey, John, just giving you a call back. I sent you an email a couple days ago. Do you have any questions? If they don't answer, send them a text message, send them an email following up. Hey, John, just following up. Did you have any questions? 7 days go by. If they still haven't responded, follow up again. Call them. I always call first. If they don't answer, because if they don't answer the phone, you can always follow up with an email or a voicemail. If they answer the phone, hey, John, do you have any questions? If they don't answer, email. Now, here's the thing. If they ghost you, if they don't respond, then add them to your monthly tracker. Every 30 days, follow up with them. Every 30 days, hey, John, just checking in. You still want help with your bookkeeping? Because keep in mind, he reached out to you first. He expressed interest. He said he needs help with his bookkeeping. You had a phone call. You sent him a quote. He never responded. Follow up every 30 days until he responds. Now, once you get that information, QuickBooks invite, bank statements, credit card statements, review it, count it, average it out, multiply it by 3, send them a quote. Email, bookkeeping quote. Hey, John, thanks for getting back to me. After reviewing your bank statements and credit card statements, your monthly bookkeeping fee is going to be $500 per month. I categorize your transactions, reconcile your accounts, generate your financial reports. I do these things every single week, every single month, so that you will have updated and accurate financial reports so that you are ready to go come tax season. This quote is only valid for 10 days. Once they accept your quote, send them a client agreement. I use PandaDoc to electronically send my client agreements. It doesn't matter how you do it, DocuSign, Adobe, PandaDoc, send them a client agreement, have them sign the client agreement, send them an invoice. Let them know, hey, John, sending you the invoice now, just letting you know, I won't be able to get started until this invoice is paid. So if you want me to start as soon as possible, just please let me know whenever you've paid the invoice, and I will get started on your bookkeeping as soon as possible. That's it. That's the process. That's how you onboard a client. Just went through that in 3 minutes. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you took some notes. That's it for today's video, guys. I appreciate everybody watching. Once again, Zip Capital offering 8% up to 12% fixed returns, everything secured by real estate. I do real estate private money lending, and I charge my borrowers 12% and a 3% origination fee. That's how I'm able to offer fixed returns to my investors. So if you want to chat about that, register on my website. If you want to take my course, I'll teach you everything you need to know, start to finish, A to Z, how to start a bookkeeping business. That's linked below. Ton of digital downloads on my website, ton of other YouTube videos. I host a weekly meeting, private group meeting every Monday at 3 p.m. You can also sign up for that. And there's a free Facebook group. Thank you all so much. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you all next week.